गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीवन। मेरे को वाइफ है, बच्चा है, तो तुम्हारे जैसा सिर्फ बुक्स के साथ नहीं रहता मैं। तुम लोग भी उसी स्टेज में आओगे जल्दी। सो हाउ वाज योर दिवाली? दिल्ली में थे तो हाउ वाज योर नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग आफ्टर दिवाली? मतलब क्या फेस वाज ब्लैक या लंग्स वेर ब्लैक? बट कैन यू सी आज यू विल अंडरस्टैंड इन टुमारोज लेक्चर व्हाट वी आर डूइंग, बिकॉज अब में हम क्लाइमेटोलॉजी खत्म होने तक एक दो लेक्चर हिस्ट्री के होंगे, अदरवाइज इट विल बी कंप्लीट ज्योग्राफी ओनली। सो अजय सर के दो लेक्चर्स रिमेनिंग है, दैट विल बी ऑन फ्राइडे एंड संडे। सो what happened yesterday was rainfall. Can you see there was two kind of rainfall? पहले 10 साढ़े 10 बजे जब मुझे पता नहीं था, because we were in Bangalore, तो so it was light rainfall. But रात को 3 बजे there was a heavy rainfall. हुआ कि नहीं with thunder? रात को 3 बजे के आसपास 5-6 लेक्चर के बाद हम आएंगे टेम्परेट साइक्लोन में, एंड हम कहेंगे टेम्परेट साइक्लोन्स आर वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंसेस एंड देयर आर टू काइंड्स ऑफ रेनफॉल इन द टेम्परेट साइक्लोन. वन इज वार्म फ्रंट प्रेसिपिटेशन विच इज लाइट एंड जेंटल, and the other is along with thunder, that is the cold front precipitation. So you saw both warm front and the cold front precipitation. Now because of this, is the air cleaner now? Comparative it is cleaner. So we will study in today's lecture itself in the temperature inversion wala concept, that is the temperature inversion can be removed with the help of the artificial rainfall or with the help of rainfall. So actually the government should have been worried about our health, but देख रहा था nature की government को कोई artificial rainfall नहीं, so उसने खुद pollution निकाल दिया. Now it is we should be worried ये और pollution ना करे, all stubble burning ना करे, then air will be clean only. But if we start doing this, air will become more and more polluted. अब जो बाहर धुआं दिख रहा है, that is not more pollution, that is temperature inversion, because temperature inversion will result into formation of fogs, and fogs ultimately in Delhi it will result into the formation of smog. Now when you are coming on the road, one thing what government has done in Delhi in the National Air Quality Index, that is Central Pollution Control Board, what it has made sure is in any of the region where construction activity is going on, if the AQI crosses 500, air quality index crosses 500, so when this AQI crosses 500, there has to be ban on construction activities. But if the AQI is between 250 to 500, the construction activities where they are taking place, it should be covered by dust curtains. So when you are walking on this road towards the signal, you will see a construction building and there is a dust curtain of blue color, the blue color ka metal ka fence is there, that is a dust curtain, and अंदर जो building है वहाँ पे net है green color की, so that is again an dust curtain, and that is an compulsory thing under the National Air Quality Index. इसी को हम कहेंगे सफ़र. न्यूज़ में ये सब आया होगा, सफ़र, graded action plan, air quality index. And when we landed yesterday, so airport पे दिखा रहा था कि air quality in Delhi. So when I saw 238 is the particulate matter in Delhi, means air quality साफ है दिल्ली के हिसाब से. वैसे WHO के हिसाब से 50 is a good, above 50 is pollution. But we have experienced that 400, 500, so हमारे लिए 238 is very clean air. Now if you talk to मैम के हिसाब से दिल्ली में pollution होता ही नहीं है, because मैम बचपन से ही दिल्ली में है, so her lungs have got used to it. वो कहती है कि ये सिर्फ मीडिया का हाइप है, कहाँ पे pollution है. But anything who comes from outside, उसको feel होता है कि it is an pollution. So it is all the state of mind. So it is state of your lungs, not the state of mind. Lungs already इतने थके हुए हैं कि pollution लगेगा नहीं. So what you should do is, nature ने rainfall किया, so this is the natural way of fighting pollution. But question आएंगे regarding climate change etc. artificial or new technologies in fighting pollution. एक आज ही आपको demonstration मिला है, that is artificial rainfall. If rainfall can be conducted artificially. So you got one point if question comes in the mains, that is how to fight air pollution in India, do artificial rainfall. Fine. Is water vapor a greenhouse gas? Water vapor is a greenhouse gas. Now because of rainfall, the cloud cover has been removed. So you will see today there is more amount of insolation. What this insolation will do? This insolation will evaporate whatever the water vapor that is present in the ground. And now winters will start becoming severe because water vapor will be vanished. And जैसे ही ये month का end आएगा, fog will become severe. There will be severe and dense fogs in this part of India. And बीच में अगर rainfall इस साल chances ज़्यादा है because La Nina था. So rainfall will, that is what is known as western disturbances. जैसे ही western disturbances, there will be good amount of aloo in North India because this aloo is a rabi crop, and there will be good amount of wheat in North India. But this will help the government of giving high MSP. And next year is an election year. So high MSP will help. Government को पता ही है that is wheat का इस साल bumper production होने वाला है. Rice का तो हो ही गया है. Why? Because of La Nina year. And it will be good thing for all of us. See how a single La Nina has triggered everything. La Nina था इसलिए the level of pollution was less. Imagine the same kind of same kind of pollution what we did in Delhi in drought year. La Nina था तो जो भी pollutants थे till the month of October or August they were removed. Asian brown cloud was less intense this year. And because the Asian brown cloud was less intense this year, therefore the rainfall has started earlier in this winters. Compare this with the 2018 winters of Jan and 2017 winters of December. It is the driest winter recorded ever in North India and Delhi after 1902. पिछले साल का winter, El Nino year. Getting this linkages? And because El Nino year, so summers were very hot. And इसलिए thunderstorms were common in Delhi. Thunderstorms and even the dust storms were very common in Delhi. You will get all this because we will start. एक छोटा topic बाकी है, that is the daylight saving time. We have done till the international dateline. So when we say international dateline or timeline, one basic rule: east you gain time as well as you gain the day. If you go to the west, you lose the day as well as you lose the time. Fine with this? Now what the Europeans will do, or what the people in the industrialized nations do in the higher latitudes, industrialized nations have to follow a strict timetable. Agricultural societies, हमारी societies, we do not have to follow a timetable. Our cropping pattern or our work, आज भी गांव में देखना, it is based on the sunlight. अगर sunlight is less, the farmer will go late to the field. In summers, they will go early at 4 o'clock in the field. In the regions जहाँ पे heat waves are prominent in central India, 3 बजे जाते हैं farmers, दोपहर को 12 से 4 आके सोते हैं because heat waves are very severe, and फिर से शाम में जाएंगे. We do not follow that, but you cannot do this for Microsoft कि heat waves ज़्यादा है तो software सारा बंद. So what they have, they use the concept of DST. That is what is the daylight saving time. I guess you had an article also recently on the daylight saving time. The daylight saving time is changing the sleeping patterns of people in Europe. That is what they do. If this is your normal clock, and if this is 6 o'clock of any month. Now during the summer season, because European higher latitudes will get more amount of daytime, and during the winter season, jitna you are away from the equator, you will have less amount of daytime. So during the summers, March 2nd को, on the 2nd of March in the northern hemisphere, because March में summers will start, रात को 12 बजे वो सारे अपने घड़ियाँ 1 घंटे आगे कर देंगे. They will advance the watch by 1 hour. So actually it is 6 o'clock, but their watch will show 7 o'clock, and they will follow this timetable till November 2nd. You don't have to remember the dates because dates vary as per the countries. But in USA, on 2nd of March, they will advance their watch by 1 hour, and in the November, till November, and जैसे ही November आएगा, they will reduce their watch by 1 hour. So during the summer season, what Europeans or what the people in USA and Canada do, when it is 6 o'clock in most of the parts of the world, उनके घड़ी में it is 7 o'clock, and they will go to work early, so that they can spend maximum amount of time in the sunshine, in the natural sunshine. And during the winter season, जब वो 6 है, वो अपनी घड़ी में 5 कर देंगे. That means winters में sunshine less है, so they can spend maximum amount of time sleeping rather than working. And in summers they will work more, and in winters they will sleep more. This is how they will adjust their body clocks as per the sun. We do not require in India क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ धूप बहुत है. This is winters for us, but daytime temperature is 29 degrees Celsius. You go to the higher latitudes, the daytime temperature is 10 degrees Celsius. And the amount of sunlight is less, and इसीलिए they try to adjust their bodies to the clock, to the sun, solar day. Solar day means how much amount of sunlight they are getting, and we call this as a concept of a daylight saving time. It is a good concept. Winston Churchill ने इसको बहुत ज़्यादा support किया था during the World War II, and it is said that Europeans, because they strictly follow the daylight saving time, इसलिए European में depression, obesity, etc. is less. Why? Because in vitamin D deficiency is less. सबसे ज़्यादा vitamin D deficiency is in India, and it is surprising. Vitamin D comes from sunlight, and India is a tropical nation, and we are the people who are having maximum vitamin D deficiency because most of our time is spent in the inner climate. In Europe, when they go for work at 9 o'clock, 9 to 12 they will work, 12 or 1 to 3 is the exercise break, and that exercise compulsory has to be in sunlight so that they can get vitamin D, and then again they have a work schedule. So they do not suffer from vitamin D deficiency, and they do not suffer from depression. But USA में case is different. USA में work just like India, any capitalistic nation. USA तो hardcore capitalism. So we have made in machines. In fact, ये time का concept आया है capitalism से. You should be knowing this. Time ये concept capitalism के लिए बनाया गया है. 1884 में time zones इसलिए बनाए थे क्योंकि capitalism को discipline चाहिए था. Because they wanted to make us machines. They did not want us to be like socialists. आराम से कभी भी आओ, कभी भी जाओ, nature में काम करो. Capitalism is treating you as a machine. You are not human being. You are a means of production, right? Na? You are a means of production, and because you are a means of production, you should be used efficiently. So we are labor class. This is what is Karl Marx says. We are a labor class, and जो ऊपर बैठे हैं, Tatas and Ambanis, they are the haves and have-nots. So they will, if you don't come on 9 o'clock in the office, and if you don't leave 5 o'clock in the office, you come at 10, 11, 3 बजे ही चले गए, you are affecting the means of production. You are affecting the production, and they don't want to affect the production, because the more you produce, their wealth will increase. You will be very happy working for, चलो, that is why you want to be an IAS, because चलो काम कर रहे हो तो at least देश के लिए कर रहे हो. नहीं तो Microsoft तो आपको 5 लाख भी दे सकता है महीने के. Right, but it will make sure if it is paying you this high salary, तो आज आप बैंगलोर में हो, कल हैदराबाद में हो, परसों पूना में हो, आज दिल्ली में हो, और कभी लंदन में हो, and your family life is gone. So this is not my experience. This is the experience of the people who are working in the private sector. So remember, capitalism brought in the concept of daylight saving time. Capitalism brought in the concept of the time zones. Understanding this? So this, do we follow daylight saving time? No. Unofficially we do not follow, but unofficially it is followed in the metros of India or in North India. For example, when the winters come, school starts 1 hour late. 8 o'clock ke badle it is starting at 9 o'clock. That is unofficially we are following daylight saving time. Officially we had followed during the 3 wars. I told you that in the last lecture. That is 61, 65 and 71 का war. We followed that. The 62, 65 and 71 का war, we followed the concept of daylight saving time. Kargil war में क्यों नहीं follow हुआ? Because Kargil was not considered as a war by Pakistan. Secondly, we do not follow it because आजकल वो concept नहीं है. That is, you have infrared binoculars. You have infrared missiles. Fine with this? So take down the daylight saving time. नहीं, टेम्परेचर इनोवेशन के 3 टाइप्स है. नहीं, उनके खुद के क्लॉक में होगा, वर्ल्ड क्लॉक में नहीं. हाँ, तो उसमें डे लाइट सेविंग टाइम का एक ऑप्शन होता है. यू एज पर द टाइम जोन डे लाइट सेविंग टाइम ऑन करो, ऑटोमेटिकली वो एडजस्ट हो जाएगा. It is officially done by the governments. There are special apps which will adjust your watch according to the DST. I have not, मैंने कभी यूज ही नहीं किया. So you can take down this thing. Daylight saving time or DST is followed in industrialized nations. Is followed in the industrialized nations and in the temperate latitudes to adjust the clock including body clock during summers and winters, so that maximum work is done during the solar day. There are two concepts of day. एक है solar day और एक है why is there a day? Due to rotation. So earth is rotating in the concept with reference to sun. So day and night, that is with reference to sun, it is a solar day. But if we want to see a rotation of the earth with reference to any star other than the sun, it will be sidereal day. So suppose you want to fix a day with reference to pole star, कि अर्थ का रोटेशन कितना है with reference to pole star, we will call that day as a sidereal day. Because they are very very far away, हमें लगता है कि हमारी rotational speed is very fast. So sidereal day is always 20 hours. मतलब day and night is 20 hours. 10 hours का day, 10 hours का night. Solar day is 24 hours. दिन और रात with reference to sun is a kind of a star, but with reference to any other star, it is sidereal day. Next, in these countries, the watch is advanced by 1 hour. The watch is advanced by 1 hour. During the spring, on other hand, during winters, On other hand, during winters, the watch is advanced backwards by 1 hour. During the winters, the watch is advanced backwards by 1 hour. Getting this? क्या करेंगे वो? ओरिजिनल टाइम है 6, बट समर्स आते ही दे विल एडवांस द वॉच बाय 1 आवर, एंड विंटर्स आते ही दे विल एडवांस द वॉच बैकवर्ड्स बाय 1 आवर. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इन दिस? 6 बजे आपको उठना है ऑफिस के लिए. विंटर्स में आपके घड़ी में 5 बज गए हैं, चलो और टाइम है सोने के लिए. विल स्लीप फॉर मोर टाइम बिकॉज एनीवेज इट इज आउटसाइड, इट इज डार्क. बट समर्स में 6 बजे यू टू गो टू ऑफिस, सो 5 बजेंगे ही वर्ल्ड टाइम में आपके घड़ी में 6 बज जाएंगे, राइट? सो यू विल वर्क फॉर 1 एक्स्ट्रा आवर ड्यूरिंग द समर्स. इंटरनेशनल टाइम से एडजस्टमेंट प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा. सो now last statement, India officially does not follow DST. India officially does not follow DST, but has used DST during Indo-China war. And Indo-Pakistan war of 65 and 71. And Indo-Pakistan war of 65 and 71. Which is this longitude जहाँ से IST is calculated 82.5. कहाँ से जाता है? जाता है बहुत सारे स्टेट से. इट इज फिक्स्ड विथ रेफरेंस टू मिर्जापुर नियर अलाहाबाद, ओके, नियर प्रयागराज. सो the same concept I was telling in the morning class of optional. If you do not like anything which is made by Britishers or Mughals, नाम ही क्यों चेंज करते हैं? उन्होंने जो स्ट्रक्चर्स बनाए वही तोड़ दो. You don't like Mughals, ताजमहल तोड़ दो. You don't like Britishers, डेमोक्रेसी छोड़ दो. उन्होंने दी है डेमोक्रेसी. टेक अप डिक्टेटरशिप. सो दिस इज द हाउ, एंड ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ, दिस वॉज टेकन वन ऑफ द फेमस बुक का ये है. सो आई विल टेल यू लेटर ऑन दैट बुक. दे विल नॉट आस्क यू सच क्वेश्चंस. नाम चेंज हो गए, क्या हुआ? गंगा का पोल्यूशन उतना ही है. सो यू कैन टेक डाउन. In India, the IST is fixed. With reference to 82.5 degree longitude. Which passes through Mirzapur. This was done after India's independence. That is, it was done after India's independence. But this will surprise you. Which were the two major economic centers even after independence? British cities. One was Mumbai and the other was Kolkata. Mumbai and Kolkata never followed Indian Standard Time. उनका खुद का longitude था and they used to follow their own time, which was known as Bombay Standard Time till 1955 and Kolkata Standard Time till 1948. This is because Britishers, even that is before independence, Britishers had two different times, two time zones in India, because of the economic importance of these cities. So the western part of India used to follow the Bombay Standard Time, the longitude through which Bombay se pass hota hai, and the eastern part of India used to follow the Kolkata Standard Time, and the time difference between these two was 1 hour. So Kolkata used to rise 1 hour earlier than Bombay and sleep 1 hour earlier than Bombay. Getting it? So, but till 1948 and 55, but till 1948 and 55, this economic centers of Kolkata and Mumbai, the economic centers of Kolkata and Mumbai retained their own time, retained their own time, retained their own time. So Mumbai retained till 1955 and Kolkata retained till 1948. Now what is the longitudinal difference between India's eastern part and the western part? How many degrees? Somewhere around 30 degrees, that is 2933 kilometers, 30 degrees. So 30 degrees ka longitudinal difference should correspond to somewhere around 2 hours. Ideally, if you look, ideally India should have 3 time zones because it is a vast country. Minimum India should have 2 time zones because the time difference between Arunachal Pradesh and Gujarat is 2 hours, and 2 hours is a huge time difference. That is, jo yahan pe, suppose the watch is fixed with the help of Allahabad ka time. If it is 8 o'clock over here, or if it is 7 o'clock over here, it means it is 6 o'clock or 5:30 actually in northeast. So when it is, sorry, it is much earlier, it is 9:30 in the northeast. So northeast ka people are losing some of the extra time. Their day should start much earlier than the day with reference to the Indian time zone. Our offices start at 9 o'clock. But what is the actual time if we do not have watches? Agar koi sun ka time dekh raha hai, so this is actually 9:30 or 10 o'clock. Yahan pe if it is 9 o'clock, it is actually 11 o'clock in northeast. And यहाँ पे जब offices बंद होते हैं 5 o'clock, it is actually sunset and dark in the northeast. So as a result of this, there is a huge demand, especially from the northeastern state, to have a separate time zone for them. This demand was recently came up in the Assam ka elections also. That is, they wanted a separate time zone, and we had different committees which were set up. One of the famous committee was Kapil Sibbal committee. Then there was a committee of CSIR, that is the Center for Science and Industrial Research. Right now also government is working on a committee, and this committee, all these committees will do the same thing. They will reject the proposal for India to have a separate time zone with one condition, that India is not yet a mature democracy to handle 2 different time zones. Now what do you mean by mature democracy? That is, we are not yet mature people, कि we are a part of same country but 2 different time zones. Report में ही लिखा है that if we create 2 different time zones or 3 time zones in India, people will start fighting on the time also. Right now they just fight on the caste, religion, the language, state. Now there will be one more fight on the time zone, and therefore the government is saying that yes, ये recent, ये जब 2018 के जो report है, this is the language that yes, India requires, that is even now the government is accepting that we require a 2 different time zone, but they said the time is not yet ripe. Maybe after 50-60 years, they will give us 2 different time zones. We have not reached the level of democracy like UK or US, where the people are mature enough about their fundamental duties. UPSC वाले को ही पता है कि फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज भी है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में, बाकी को तो राइट्स भी नहीं पता, छोड़ो ड्यूटीज क्या है, अनलेस यू आर अ लॉ स्टूडेंट. Constitution नहीं पता. So as a result of this, you should remember that when this question comes in the examination, have a balanced approach. क्योंकि ये एक है mains का topic. They can ask you whether we should have two different time zones. So you should give that India is a vast country, and because of this vast country, India should have different time zones. But technically, in any country which is either autocracy like China or dictatorship like China, or in the newly formed countries, creating time zone create mental barriers among the people, and the people have not yet matured. See, you may like it or not, we are not yet matured, right? Lynching, गंगा को स्टेटस दे दिया नेशनल रिवर का, उसको राइट टू लाइफ दे दी, किसको कॉपी करके? न्यूजीलैंड की एक रिवर को कॉपी करके. बट वो फेल क्यों गया एक्सपेरिमेंट? बिकॉज न्यूजीलैंड में पीपल हैड डिमांडेड दैट रिवर शुड बी गिवन एज राइट टू लाइफ, बिकॉज पीपल वांटेड टू प्रोटेक्ट द रिवर, एंड देयरफॉर दैट वाज सक्सेसफुल. वी थॉट इट इज़ अ न्यू इनोवेशन इन न्यूजीलैंड जस्टिस, एंड वही हमने कॉपी किया उत्तराखंड हाईकोर्ट ने, एंड दे दिया राइट टू लाइफ टू गंगा. बट यहाँ पे पीपल इटसेल्फ डू नॉट वांट द रिवर टू बी क्लीन. सबको चाहिए टिल द टाइम आपको कुछ बरी नहीं करना है, आपको कुछ कूड़ा नहीं डालना है. दूसरे के लिए इट इज़ फाइन, बट खुद जब आएंगे तो गंगा में दुर्गा पूजा हो, गणेश पूजा हो, कुछ भी हो, एवरीथिंग गोज इनटू द वाटर. देन कम्स रिलीजन, then comes that is, if you go in Varanasi, you will see dead bodies floating, half burnt dead bodies floating. Why? Because there was a time when relatives used to burn the body. आजकल सबके पास टाइम कम है, so you pay to the person who will burn the bodies for us. That is, you will stay there till that some time, 1 घंटा to give respect, निकल जाओगे, वो उसका जॉब है, वो उसके लिए दूसरी वेटिंग है, वो बॉडी लेके नदी में डाल देता है. उससे एक फ़ायदा हुआ है. द पॉपुलेशन ऑफ गैंजेटिक डॉल्फिन हैज़ इंक्रीज्ड बिकॉज दे आर गेटिंग ईजी फूड of the, this is the reality. Otherwise, gangetic dolphin was critically endangered. Last year, it has been moved to the vulnerable category from critically endangered. And the reason is because gangetic dolphin is now getting sufficient amount of food. Otherwise, Ganga is so polluted right now that there are no natural fishes found. So, now the gangetic dolphin is getting the food of dead bodies. But it will change the chemistry. That is, maybe future में the gangetic dolphin can start attacking human beings also, like the tigress has now attacked the human beings. So man-animal conflict may increase. आपको जब भी सोचना है न्यूज़पेपर में पढ़ने के बाद ऐसा सोचो. Have an understanding what can be the future problems. So you can take down. The longitudinal extent of India, is roughly around 30 degrees. Longitudinal extent of India is roughly around 30 degrees, extending for 2933 kilometers, extending for 3214 is north south. 2933 is west. Longitudinal extent, not latitudinal. Latitudinal is 3214. Longitudinal, extending for 2933 kilometers. Therefore, the time difference between Arunachal and Gujarat is around 2 hours. And therefore, ideally, India should have more than one time zone. In the bracket, minimum 2. Actually, अगर गवर्नमेंट को करना है 2 टाइम जोन, दे शुड रिमूव दिस सेंट्रल टाइम जोन and they should have eastern time zone which will cover half of India, and eastern time zone and western time zone जो ब्रिटिशर्स करते थे. Hence the people in the northeastern states, hence the people in the northeastern state lose much of precious solar daytime or sun's time, lose much of precious solar daytime, causing economic as well as health issues, causing economic as well as health issues. Health issues, less sun means more depression. Economic as well as health issues. Economic issues, shops close earlier, shops open late, that is offices open late. So this is economic issue. The productivity of a person is reduced, economic issue. Hence they are demanding for the separate time zone. Separate time zone. Do Northeast India unofficially follows daylight saving time? Yes. So what they do? They advance the clock by 1 hour. Do they do in Assam?
Yes, sir.
So they advance the time by 1 hour so that power consumption, आजकल तो ये भी एक important issue है, the power consumption is reduced. So now take down. In 1980s, there was a proposal to shift to the British binary time system. But this proposal was rejected. In the recent years, the demand for separate time zone has increased because less daytime increases the consumption of power. Less daytime increases the consumption of power. Therefore, especially for the industries, some labor laws allow the state governments, underline the word state government, not national government. Some labor laws allows the state governments to set separate time for industrial and economic activities. Example, has set up chai bagan time, or tea garden time, which is 1 hour ahead of Indian Standard Time, which is 1 hour ahead of Indian Standard Time, followed only by Northeast. Because ये अगर नीलगिरी हिल्स में फॉलो हुआ तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा. नीलगिरी हिल्स आर 2 hours ahead of the Northeast, 2 hours behind Northeast. So टी गार्डन टाइम, नॉट कॉफ़ी गार्डन टाइम. कॉफ़ी कहाँ पे है? कर्नाटक में. टी कहाँ पे है? आसाम में. कौन सा? सुबह उठना कभी भी अच्छा होता है. सुबह 3 बजे उठो, इट इज गुड. अगर कुछ आता है तो कैन यू राइट अ कंक्लूजन? आई एम नॉट डिक्टेटिंग. कंक्लूजन अपने हिसाब से लिखना. ब्रिंग इन सम सोशल एंगल टू इट, दैट दो we should ideally have 2 or 3 time zones, but we are not yet a mature democracy. It will create more fractions in India, more factions in India, and therefore the government right now has decided that we should follow only one time zone. And then ye likhna, that is, but there are some provisions such as Labor Act follows a time, tea garden time. Fine with this? Based on this, I am asking you some prelims based question. Which is the easternmost state of India? Arunachal. Which is the westernmost state of India? Gujarat. Which is the easternmost capital of India? Kohima. Kohima is the capital of? And which is the westernmost capital of India? Gandhinagar. Open the atlas, first page, political map. नहीं, लक्षद्वीप नहीं, स्टेट्स. मुंबई और गांधीनगर. क्या है? कांडला इज नॉट कैपिटल. कैपिटल, स्टेट का कैपिटल मैं पूछ रहा हूं. गांधीनगर और मुंबई. आंसर इज मुंबई. पीछे इंडेक्स में देखना, द लैटिट्यूड्स ऑफ लॉन्गिट्यूड ऑफ मुंबई एंड द लॉन्गिट्यूड ऑफ गांधीनगर. गांधीनगर थोड़ा ईस्ट में है एंड मुंबई थोड़ा वेस्ट में है. सो वेस्टर्न मोस्ट कैपिटल ऑफ इंडिया इज मुंबई. ईस्टर्न मोस्ट कैपिटल ऑफ इंडिया इज कोहिमा. कोहिमा इज द कैपिटल ऑफ नागालैंड. पीछे इसमें देख. Don't go by this also. Whenever you get confused, so always look in the index. Cities, latitudes, longitudes. Fine with this? जैसे एक common mistake हमें लगता है. Which is the southernmost city of India? Bangalore or Chennai? Chennai is our common answer. Look in the atlas. You will be surprised to see that the southernmost is Bangalore and the eastern, usse upar is the Chennai. Now if you keep on doing these exercises, तो ये जो questions आते हैं, which is located on which longitude, they can be answered. So southernmost is Bangalore, not Chennai. दो cities के बीच, दो cities के बीच के southernmost चेन्नई है या बैंगलोर है? बैंगलोर है. दिखता है चेन्नई, इट इज बैंगलोर. वैसे तो रामेश्वरम हो जाएगा सदर्न मोस्ट. सो आई एम आस्किंग रिगार्डिंग चेन्नई एंड बैंगलोर. So when we do the next topic, that is the temperature, यहाँ से applied climatology starts, and यहाँ से each and every topic is important except for humidity. Rainfall is more important than humidity, and we will do it in the following heads. What are the factors that affect the distribution of temperature? उसके बाद horizontal distribution of temperature. Horizontal distribution means from equator towards the poles. How does the temperature varies on the surface of the earth? Then third we will do is the vertical distribution of temperature. That is from 0 kilometers till 16 kilometers, tropopause. We are not going into the stratosphere. Temperature goes on reducing, and last में temperature inversion and its significance. First, what is the difference between insolation and temperature? Yes, insolation is dhoop and temperature is garmi. Temperature is garmi. That is the simple thing. That is, insolation is the amount of sun's energy that reaches the surface of the earth, while temperature is the sensible heat which we can feel. So insolation under in that bahar, and on this every part of Delhi insolation is same, but you cannot feel the temperature because we are modifying the inner temperature with the help of air conditioning. Getting it? That is the difference between temperature and insolation. So dhoop versus garmi. So you can take down the definition. Temperature is the amount of sensible heat. The temperature is the amount of sensible heat. Amount of sensible heat that is experienced on a at a place based on the sea level. Temperature का definition कुछ काम का नहीं, सिर्फ formality है. They will never ask you definition of temperature based on sea level. The most important source of atmospheric temperature is what? Sun या earth? Is the earth. The most important source of atmospheric temperature is earth. Through its what? Long wave or short wave? Through its long wave radiations. Sun is not that important source for temperature. Sun is also a source, but it is a minute source. Most important is earth. वैसे तो everything is related to sun. नहीं, जितनी ज़्यादा इंसोलेशन होगी टेम्परेचर अलग हो सकता है, बिकॉज इट विल डिपेंड अपॉन अल्बिडो, इट विल डिपेंड अपॉन वेजिटेशन, इट विल डिपेंड अपॉन एंगल ऑफ द सन रेज. सो इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन मैनी फैक्टर्स, इसलिए दोनों अलग है. अगर इक्वेटर पे सबसे ज़्यादा इंसोलेशन है टिबेटियन प्लाटू फॉर तिब्बत, लेह लद्दाख. एनीवन हैज़ विजिटेड लेह लद्दाख? सो लेह लद्दाख इफ यू गो, insolation is very high because it is 5 kilometers above the sea level. Temperature during the summer season is 18 degrees Celsius during the daytime, but sunburn occurs. Why? Sunburn is occurring due to insolation. And why we do not feel the temperature? Because there is no vegetation, The soil has high albedo because it is lighter in color, and plus because it is at a greater height. So 5 kilometer ऊपर means the temperature reduces at the rate of 6.5 degrees Celsius for every kilometer. But फिर भी 18 degrees Celsius में sunburn होता है. 10 degrees Celsius में you go to Leh Ladakh, there will be sunburn. And 40 degrees में you stay in Delhi, there will be no sunburn. Dry winds is based on water vapor, and water vapor is a greenhouse gas. So you have to remember that. इसलिए इस Leh Ladakh plateau receives, or the Tibetan plateau receives, highest amount of insolation in the world because it is the highest plateau in the world. So insolation and temperature are two different things. Now this is just for technical understanding, not for exam. What are the sources of heating when anything is there, how the temperature is transferred or how the atmosphere is heated? Or you, for that you have to imagine you making a tea. So when you take a tea, you take it in the vessel and put it on the gas and you light the gas. Gas will transfer the heat, right? This burner will give out flame and the flame will heat up the vessel. So that way burner है हमारा sun. So one of the mechanism of heating the atmosphere is radiation. When the earth is heated up to a lot extent during the summer season, earth gives out heat जो आपको गर्म लगता है. That is what is known as radiation, terrestrial radiation. And terrestrial radiation, this always are long waves. ये application समझो. This is required in cyclones. Direct question के लिए नहीं. The second is, उस vessel को if you touch, will you get burned? Yes. Why? Because you touch the vessel, excess heat from the vessel is transferred to our body, which is relatively colder. So this mechanism of transferring of heat by touch is what is known as conduction. Conduction. Transfer of heat by touch. When the molecules touch each other, the heat is transferred through conduction. And remember, air is a bad conductor of heat because density कम है, so molecules are far apart. Air is a bad conductor of heat. So what is the best mechanism? This is the base of entire climate. अगर ये समझ में आया तो climate is very easy. The best mechanism is when you take a tea. tea ऊपर क्यों आता है? Because नीचे का part gets heated, it becomes lighter and it comes up, while the ऊपर का part which is colder, it settles down. So we have convection currents which are set up in the vessel. So the best mechanism of the transfer of the heat through the atmosphere is through the mechanism of convection. And what do you mean by convection? Convection is summers. How are our typical summers? दिन में it becomes very, very hot because the insolation is very high. So the earth becomes very hot. Earth cannot transfer the heat through conduction. Earth में आग नहीं लगती. That it does not transfer the heat through radiation. So what it does? The earth is hot and therefore air which is in the immediate contact with the earth becomes hot and it starts rising upwards. And जो बाकी की air है वो colder है वो नीचे आती है. While the warm air rises upwards. जितनी ज़्यादा गर्मी उतना तेज तूफान. जितनी ज़्यादा गर्मी उतना stronger is the cyclones. Cyclones are based on heating of the sea surface temperature. जितना ज़्यादा गर्मी उतना stronger are the tornadoes. So what is this? When there is extremely hot in Delhi, you will see that in the month of March, late March and April, if there is very hot day, शाम को around 5 or 6 o'clock, suddenly the air will start rising upwards. Why? Because from 12 to 3 or 4, sun has transferred maximum heat to the ground from 12 to 3. 3 to 4, earth has got so hot that it transfers excess heat to the air, and air, this lighter air becomes, this air becomes hot, it becomes light and it starts rising upwards. And air कभी भी on the rotating earth सीधे ऊपर नहीं जाएगी, वो हमेशा घूम के ऊपर जाएगी, and you will call this as तूफान. Because यहाँ की air ऊपर जा रही है तो side से winds will start coming in this direction, because and since this area is very hot or warm, यहाँ का air तो goes up, and because there cannot be vacuum, air from the ground will come to the in an horizontal manner, and because it comes here, it will become warmer and it will also start rising upwards. This is the basic mechanism. जब air ऊपर जाएगी, it is low pressure. जब air नीचे आएगी, it is high pressure. So equator पे always there is a low pressure belt, equatorial low pressure belt, and polar regions are always high pressure belt. Getting it? Why? Low pressure means heat, air will go up. High pressure, cold. Cold air is always denser. You always remember the AC. It is all, the AC is cooling the upper part and it will come and settle down. अब तो technological innovation तो split AC आ गए, but window ACs उसमें ये नहीं था, vertical flap movement नहीं था. So window ACs ऊपर को cool करते थे and they used to come down, and warm air used to rise up. Convection takes place. Fine with this? Conduction, air is a bad conductor, human body is a bad conductor. इसीलिए अगर आप we are not wearing any footwear and walking in the summer season, सिर्फ नीचे का पार्ट जलता है, ऐसे कभी नहीं होगा कि सर तक पूरी बॉडी जल गई. So this, you remember, air is a bad conductor of heat. It is always convection. So remember the definition of convection is क्या? Cold does not mean cold in our sense. Cold means relatively colder. 43 degrees Celsius can be warm winds and 40 degrees Celsius can be cold winds. Climate is all relative. 10 degrees Celsius can be warm winds, 0 degrees Celsius can be cold winds. ये पूरा relative concept है. Remember this. Don't say cold मतलब बहुत गर्मी, बहुत ठंडी, and warm means very hot, and cold means extremely cold, freezing temperature. 1 degree Celsius का difference is also high pressure and low pressure. So monsoon, India is hot, 45 degrees. Indian Ocean is relatively colder, 38 degrees. इसलिए winds come from high pressure to low pressure. अब वो समंदर से आ रहे हैं, इसलिए they are having moisture and they give rainfall. अब Himalayas are becoming colder, right? So high pressure is over Himalayas, and therefore and Indian Ocean is becoming warmer, and इसीलिए आजकल आप पढ़ रहे हो northeast monsoon. Why? Because Himalayas are becoming colder. Let us complete. Climate में many of the concepts will be covered over the period of time. That is, ये तो मैंने सिर्फ एक mechanism बताया. अब इसका high destruction, greater difference between high pressure and low pressure, tropical cyclones. अगर ज़्यादा नहीं है, temperate cyclones, जिसमें destruction कुछ भी नहीं होगा. You are right, it will all depend upon the temperature difference. Temperature difference ज़्यादा है तो winds are stronger. Temperature difference अगर नहीं है तो winds नहीं, breeze चलेगी, which will be good. Getting it? So remember, vertical rise of air. Is known as convection, and it is the most efficient mechanism of heat transfer. convectional currents is the most efficient mechanism of heat transfer in the inner earth and इसलिए plate tectonics होता है. Similarly, convectional currents are the responsible for atmospheric phenomena. So what is most important in the world is the convectional currents. If there are no convectional currents, there will be no plate movements. If there are no convectional currents, will be no atmospheric phenomena. Only thing is, one is below the earth, one is above the earth. And the last mechanism is advection. Advection is exactly opposite of convection. Convection is vertical rise, advection is horizontal movement of air. That means advection is nothing but what we call in common man's language as winds. Advection is winds. Wind shear is difference. Cyclones mein. Wind shear is only related to cyclones. Wind shear is related to convection, not to the advection. Winds. Remember, kabhi bhi mat likhna, horizontal, vertical winds are developed in cyclones. Vertical is not wind, vertical is air. Horizontal is only wind. And be very attentive from this class for next 6-7 classes till we complete climate, because आज एक concept आएगा, उसका explanation में भी आपको 5-6 lecture बाद आएगा, because यहाँ से confusion start होता है. That is, we जैसे ही temperature inversion, उसके बाद jet streams, उसके बाद El Nino La Nina. El Nino La Nina का concept in paper 1, that is world geography, उसका impact Indian monsoon, Indian geography. El Nino La Nina के साथ Indian ocean dipole. Getting this? So it is all related, and in सबका application January में लगेगा हमें when we'll do environment and ecology, climate change, biodiversity, rainfall, desertification, drought prone regions of India. Environment, it's better I start late, because let the agreement occur in December. We are going to meet in December. So there will be numerous things which will come in December. Maximum insolation is never at the equator. ये concept wrong है. Maximum insolation will be never at the equator. It will be in the subtropical high pressure belt, deserts. Equator pe it is cloud cover, and therefore equatorial regions. You will understand this when we will do horizontal distribution of temperature. Maximum insolation at the equator. So advection is wind. So can I say wind helps in the heat budget of the earth? ऐसे क्वेश्चन आता है यूपीएससी प्रीलिम्स में. Winds will help in transfer of heat from the lower latitudes towards the higher latitudes. Yes. Winds will help in the heat balance of the earth. Similarly, ocean currents will help in the heat balance of the earth. They all are the examples of advection. So these are the 4 things जिसमें से we will be again coming back clouds में, cyclones में, thunderstorms में in convection. Fine with this? Any doubt here? Now one more before I do the factors affecting temperature. Understand this basic, इसका कोई scientific basis नहीं है. This is just I am telling you so that your confusion goes out. नहीं, heat balance of the earth. Suppose these are the 2 conditions which are there. हमेशा याद रखना, in physics temperature is directly proportional to pressure. In climate temperature is inversely proportional to pressure. सिर्फ climatology में. Otherwise physics, geomorphology में temperature and pressure are टेम्परेचर बढ़ेगा तो प्रेशर भी बढ़ेगा. इन क्लाइमेटोलॉजी टेम्परेचर बढ़ेगा तो प्रेशर कम होगा. एंड यू विल अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई. व्हाट यू मीन बाय लो प्रेशर? व्हेन द एयर राइजेस अप, आपके सर के ऊपर अगर वजन कम है एयर का तो इट इज लो प्रेशर. अगर आप यहाँ इसके नीचे या फैन के नीचे खड़े हो तो वजन ज्यादा है, देयर इज मोर वेट ऑफ एयर ऑन योर head, that is known as an high pressure. So during the, if this is summer condition, the air will get warm, it will expand. Because of expansion there will be decrease in the density, and because of decrease in the density the mass of air will reduce, right? And because of this the air will start rising upwards as the, and therefore during the summer season what is the condition, low pressure or high pressure? So summers mein there is always low pressure. As the air is rising upwards, is it now cooling? Yes, it is cooling at the rate of 6.5 degrees Celsius for every kilometer. So whatever the water vapor that is present in the air, because summer say there will be evaporation, whatever the water vapor that is present in the air, जैसे air will rise up, water vapor will cool and become water droplet or snow particles. And therefore, whenever there is summer, if this water vapor is cools and becomes snow particles, it will result into formation of clouds. So during the low pressure conditions, during the summer season, we always have clouds. And if there are clouds, obviously there is a chance of rainfall. Precipitation. And if there is a rain or precipitation, you will call in geography such conditions as disturbance. Winters are supposed to be without rainfall, but कभी-कभी इंडिया में जैसे कल रात को विंटर्स में रेनफॉल आता है, सो क्या नाम देते हो आप? वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस और instability. We'll call this as instability. So summers में the conditions are always unstable. Getting this? And you will call this entire conditions as cyclonic conditions, not cyclone. So remember these keywords we will be using again and again. Atmospheric instability is caused, means there is a chance of rainfall. Atmospheric stability is there, that means there is a dry condition. Getting this? So monsoon comes during the summer or winter season? During the summer season. Ab winters hai, so is the sky cloudless or are there clouds in the sky? It is cloudless, because clouds will be there only if air is forced to rise up and cool. So summers may it is always cloudy and winters it is always clear skies. Getting this? So remember this graph whenever you get confused. So wherever you will study in geography on the world level, XYZ high pressure belt, मतलब deserts उधर है. XYZ high pressure horse latitudes or subtropical high pressure belt. Hot deserts, polar high pressure belt, cold deserts. And जहाँ जहाँ low pressure belt है, you will find evergreen forest. It can be tropical evergreen forest in the equatorial low pressure belt, or it is taiga, that is evergreen coniferous forest in the subpolar low pressure belt, that is in the higher latitudes. Getting this? Now on other hand, the air which comes down, uska pressure increases and we call such condition as high pressure. And which air will come down, cool air or warm air? Cool air. That is, generally high pressure conditions are caused due to cooling, generally. Kabhi-kabhi they are forced even during the heating time, that is a different issue, or during winters. अब जब air is coming down from above, is the air experiencing heating or cooling? Air is coming down now. If this air is which is going up is getting cooled at the rate of 6.5 degrees Celsius, this air should get warmed at 6.5 degrees Celsius for every kilometer. So agar upar water particles which are there, when they are coming down, they will evaporate. They will become water vapor. They will not form clouds, because cloud is a collection of ice and water droplets, not of water vapor. So generally during the winters, we have cloudless and clear sky. Getting it? Why you will start using cold creams and moisturizers in the coming days? Because winters mein the air is forced to come down. So whatever the water vapor is there, it will evaporate because the air is becoming warmer as it is coming down. There will be no water vapor. Sunlight itna kam hai because sun is in the southern hemisphere ki there will be no evaporation. So our skin will not get any hydration that it gets from the weather conditions. So हमारी skin dry होती है, crack होती है. You start applying cold cream. Summers में कभी लगाते हैं cold cream? नहीं. Understand this basic mechanisms. And you will call this condition as stability. And anticyclonic conditions, not anticyclone. Anticyclone is a phenomena. Anticyclonic conditions. मतलब नहीं, हम अभी ग्राउंड लेवल पे ही कंसिडर, we are not going at different altitudes. So have this basic chart in mind. You will be reading our newspaper. A tropical disturbance has developed in Bay of Bengal, and therefore cyclone Gaja is going to affect Orissa. Fine? Tropical disturbance. Matlab heating of the Bay of Bengal is occurring. Not necessarily. This is a general rule. There are exceptions to the rule. Have you understood? Generally, summers should be full of rainfall. So each and every part of the world should get rainfall during which season? During the summer season. But UPSC फिर पूछता है Mediterranean type of climate. Past year question देखो बहुत बार Mediterranean type of climate. Why? Because only climate in the world which gets rainfall during the winters. Exceptions में हमेशा UPSC ध्यान देगा. All the other climates get rainfall during the summers except for the Mediterranean type of climate. और अगर you are a plant, suppose you are a plant and you are staying in a region जहाँ पे rainfall पूरे साल है, आपको पत्ते छोड़ने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. You can grow as much you want. You will be called as evergreen. If you come in India जहाँ पे you will have to, you know कि मार्च अप्रैल में बहुत ज़्यादा धूप है, बिल्कुल बारिश नहीं होने वाली. Winters में बहुत ज़्यादा it is cold, बारिश नहीं होने वाली. So आप अपने पत्ते छोड़ दोगे because your leaves will cause you to become thirsty. It will lose water. You will be called as deciduous. And if you are growing in the polar and subpolar region, higher latitudes में जहाँ पे बर्फ होने वाली है, you will not grow wide. आप Christmas tree जैसा पतला ऊपर grow करोगे so that if there is a snowfall, you can put your branches down and snow will slide. You will be called as coniferous. Understanding this? That is the every biome will change with the change in the climate. And suppose if you are there in the Mediterranean, I will tell you later on what you will grow into. You know in the Mediterranean, just giving you a hint, you know in the Mediterranean summers are going to be dry. So you will try to conserve jitna moisture hai by a thick covering. That is, you will be called as a lemon tree or an orange tree. hard covering outside, juicy inside. That is Mediterranean biome. It is famous for citrus fruits. Getting it? So any doubts here? Whenever there is rainfall or precipitation, you will call that condition as instability or disturbance. That's it. Generally, if you are getting confused, just remember you will be calling this as instability and this is stability. Any confusion here? Factors affecting temperature. Temperature distribution. One of the factors that affects the temperature distribution is latitudes. Why latitudes? Because as we go from, if this is the earth, as we go from lower to the higher latitude, insolation will keep on becoming more and more inclined. And therefore, insolation vertical versus insolation will become inclined. So temperature should increase or decrease? Temperature decreases. That is, can I say generally the temperature decreases from equator towards the poles, right? But what happens in the equatorial region? दिन में इतनी ज़्यादा गर्मी है, इतनी ज़्यादा धूप है, because it is located exactly at the center of the earth, that each and every day in the equator is same. Sun becomes so strong in the equator that around 12 to 3 o'clock the earth is heated. The earth is heated and therefore around 4 o'clock the air becomes heated and it starts rising upwards. As it starts rising upwards, it develops clouds. And clouds होने के बाद, obviously this will give rainfall. And therefore insolation is reduced in the equatorial regions. And therefore temperature is also reduced in the equatorial regions. Why? Because equatorial regions will receive rainfall throughout the year. Same thing is happening throughout the year. Equatorial region is the region in the world which does not have winter season. So insolation सबसे ज़्यादा कहाँ पे है? It is located to the north of the equator, which is known as subtropical high pressure belt. अभी नहीं समझ में आएगा, but simple example से केरला ज़्यादा गर्म है in the summers या राजस्थान ज़्यादा गर्म है? Which is more? Rajasthan, because Kerala is equatorial belt. But what is the difference between Kerala and Rajasthan? Rajasthan में there are winters, Kerala में there are no winters. There is only one type of climate in Kerala, that is hot and humid throughout the year, because it is nearer to the equator. It is nearer to the equator, not nearer to the sea. Italy is also nearer to the sea. Arctic Ocean is also nearer to the sea. Arctic, मतलब Russia का कुछ part is also nearer to the sea. It all depends upon the latitudes. Getting it? Fine with this? अब इसका application देखो. Is Mumbai nearer to the sea or nearer to the equator? Or Delhi is nearer to the equator? Out of this two. Mumbai is nearer to the equator. Chennai is nearer to the equator or Delhi is nearer to the equator? Chennai. So Chennai and Mumbai do not experience winter season. Delhi, it is so far away from the equator that there is summers and winters. And इसीलिए Delhi experiences pollution during the winters, because winters मतलब it will all come down. मुंबई में ऐसा नहीं है कि मुंबई में pollution level कम है. Air is not polluted in Mumbai or Chennai or Kolkata because it is nearer to the sea. That is the second factor, and they are also nearer to the equator, so they do not have winter season. Delhi experiences winter, so पूरे साल का pollution विंटर्स में नीचे आता है. ऐसे नहीं कि 3 घंटे फटाके जलाने से पोल्यूशन बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गया. टेम्पररी yes, but solution is entire year. So we will stop worrying about the same pollution मार्च में आते ही, and we will start worrying about the same pollution next November में. बीच में हम सब भूल जाते हैं. बीच में कंस्ट्रक्शन एक्टिविटी रहेगी, सब कुछ रहेगा. बीच में कोल जनरेशन फिर से बदरपुर पावर प्लांट फिर से दिल्ली में शुरू हो जाएगा. गेटिंग इट? बट वी फॉरगेट दैट ये हवा ऊपर जाके सेटल होने वाली है, एरोसोल्स विच आर गोइंग टू कम डाउन इन द आफ्टर 5-6 months. बॉम्बे या चेन्नई में क्या है? There are petrochemical factories which are the most polluting, but entire that air is carried to the sea. So वहाँ पे water is polluted, which will not directly affect us because we can filter it. We do not filter air. Getting this? So take down the first factor, latitudes. In general, as the insolation becomes more and more inclined, in general, as the insolation becomes more and more inclined, therefore, temperature decreases from equator towards the poles. Temperature decreases from equator towards the poles. But the highest temperatures are not found at the equator. But the highest temperatures are not found at the equator. Because 2 reasons. Rainfall throughout the year. Because first, rainfall throughout the year. Second, cloud cover throughout the year. Rainfall भी नहीं तो clouds है ही उधर. Cloud cover throughout the year. Next point, change the paragraph. The highest temperatures are located between 25 to 35 degree north and south latitudes. Between 25 to 35 degree north and south latitudes, known as subtropical high pressure belts. Subtropical high pressure belts. Why? इसका आंसर बाद में मिलेगा. सिर्फ उसके लिए फर्स्ट यू विल हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड प्रेशर बेल्ट्स. इट इज अगेंस्ट आवर रूल. हाईएस्ट टेम्परेचर है इन दिस बेल्ट, स्टिल इट इज हाई प्रेशर. आइडियली इट शुड बी लो प्रेशर. सो ये एक्सेप्शंस. अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस, सो इसलिए दिस कंसेप्ट इज नॉट दैट इजी. बाद में वी विल डू दैट. Lowest temperature obviously in the polar regions or higher latitudes. So is this the same point, nothing but horizontal distribution of temperature? When we have done the lecture plan aaj ka, we have done factors horizontal, vertical. So what is this? This is horizontal distribution. कुछ अलग लिखना नहीं है. This is the same, that is the horizontal distribution of temperature. The second factor is altitudes. Second factor is the altitude. What in altitude? That is, in general, temperature goes on decreasing as per the rate of 6.5 degrees Celsius for every kilometer. इसलिए the highest mountains in the world always have ice caps and glaciers. Generally, high mountains are known for their hill stations, which are cooler during the summer season. Generally, anyone from Bangalore in this class? Okay, if nobody from Bangalore, then tell me, is the Bangalore known for cold climate throughout the year, means moderate climate throughout the year? Yes. Why? Because Bangalore is located at the height of 600 meters. It is a plateau region. And plains near the sea level, temperature will be highest. Himalayas, though they are located in the tropics, they are known for the largest glaciers outside the polar regions. Why? Because Himalayas are the highest mountains in the world. So, हमारा law क्या है? The temperature goes on reducing at the rate of 6.5 degrees Celsius for every kilometer, and we will call this as normal lapse rate. Getting this? Now, can you tell me why? What is the source of heating? Earth, of the atmosphere. Earth. So, आप जैसे Earth से दूर जाते हो, that is, you are going from flat region to this upper part. So, you are going away from the source of heat. So, obviously, the temperature is going to decrease. Second important thing is, in the first lecture we have written, maximum amount of water vapor is found up to the height of 2.9 kilometers. उसके बाद the amount of water vapor is very less, and 5 किलोमीटर के बाद the amount of water vapor does not exist. So जितने आप ऊपर जाओगे, the amount of water vapor is reducing. Water vapor, is it a greenhouse gas? Yes. And therefore amount of water vapor reduces, so obviously the heating capacity of the earth will reduce. Third thing, see इसमें से हमेशा applied question आते हैं. One applied question is, mountaineers always take oxygen mask or oxygen cylinders with them. Why? High mountaineers. High altitude में क्या होता है? Oxygen decreases? No, oxygen does not decrease. कहीं पे भी troposphere में the oxygen has to be 21%. The density decreases. And density, because it decreases, because आप जैसे ऊपर जाओगे, the amount of density, ऊपर pressure कम होगा तो the gases will expand, and therefore density will decrease. Because the density will decrease, when you go in the higher latitudes, you will have the problem of breathing, and therefore it's best to take oxygen mask with you. Getting this? So ये question आया है prelims में, oxygen, high mountaineers take oxygen cylinders or oxygen mask with them. One option was density decreases, other option was oxygen decreases. कहाँ से आया है question? Can you understand how they are asking you applied question? So oxygen does not decrease. Oxygen anywhere in the troposphere has to be 21%. You are not going into the stratosphere. Mount Everest is not in stratosphere. Getting it? Air density decreases, air becomes rare. Because air becomes rare, conduction होता नहीं properly, and therefore we do not feel the temperature. Air becomes rare, therefore we have to take deep breaths, which is not possible in the higher latitudes, higher altitude, because ऊपर जाते जाते वैसे ही आदमी थक जाता है. So oxygen का density decreases, and therefore you have to take oxygen mask. But Mount Everest इतना ही high towers में, in buildings, you do not carry oxygen mask. World Trade Center, will you take oxygen mask if you are going on 30th floor? No. Why? Because lift will take you suddenly. If the lift is traveling at the speed of some seconds, microseconds, बाहर आते ही you will feel थोड़ा बहुत light, dizzy, but over the period of time your body will get adjusted, and then you will take. So remember, these are the reasons. These are the three reasons. Water vapor decreases, density decreases, and you are going away from the source of the heat. Getting it? So take down. On an average, have we written this? The general temperature goes on. Have I given you any line regarding? the temperature goes on decreasing as per the rate of 6.5 degrees Celsius for every kilometer. Have you written this? So I'll start altitude ke baad, you should write on an average the temperature goes on decreasing at the rate of 6.5 degrees Celsius, at the rate of 6.5 degrees Celsius for every kilometer, known as environmental lapse rate, known as environmental lapse rate, ELR, or normal lapse rate, known as environmental lapse rate or normal lapse rate. It is also known as environmental lapse rate. This decrease of temperature with the increasing height, this decrease of temperature with the increasing height is due to reason number one, the major source of heating of the earth, the major source of heating of the earth is terrestrial radiation, is the earth's terrestrial radiation, of the atmosphere, sorry, heating of the atmosphere is the earth's terrestrial radiation. So as we go up, we move away from the source of the heat. And therefore temperature decreases. Second point, therefore temperature decreases. Second point, इसी के अंदर maximum amount of water vapor, कितना percentage? 50%. Maximum amount of water vapor bracket में 50%, याद रखना first lecture में से, you can go home and revise that part. 50% is located below the height of 2.9 kilometers. Is located below the height of 2.9 kilometers. Water vapor is a powerful greenhouse gas. Water vapor is the powerful greenhouse gas. And as the water vapor decreases, the ability of the atmosphere to trap heat decreases. And third point, due to decrease in the density, the upper atmosphere cannot efficiently transfer the heat. Full stop. Greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide dominate the lower atmosphere. and therefore temperature decreases. Temperature decreases. Fourth point, in the recent years, urbanization, deforestation, industrialization, and commercial animal rearing. Commercial animal rearing has increased the heat. In the lower atmosphere. Example, what is this diagram? Urban heat island effect. What is urban heat island? The temperature of urban areas is always 2 degrees Celsius to 7 degrees Celsius greater than the surrounding village or countryside. So हमेशा जो city है, it is बहुत ज़्यादा गर्म होती है. It is always high. Why? Concrete will trap the heat and it will radiate the heat during the night time. Industrial gases, which includes greenhouse gases. Tar roads, this will all radiate heat, and therefore the temperature of the countryside, of the city, is always greater. 2 degrees Celsius से 5 degrees Celsius greater than the surrounding region, and this is what is known as urban heat island. इसीलिए अर्बन हीट आइलैंड में हमेशा ऊपर हेज होता है. अभी सिर्फ इतना एग्जाम्पल लिखना, अर्बन हीट आइलैंड इफेक्ट. एग्जाम्पल इज अर्बन हीट आइलैंड इफेक्ट. सो ये करंट अफेयर्स वाला पॉइंट ऑल्सो इंक्लूड करना इन द क्वेश्चन इफ इट कम्स रिगार्डिंग द वर्टिकल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. बट इसमें से बहुत अप्लाइड क्वेश्चंस विल कम इन द एग्जाम. For mains, the applied questions can be like this. क्वेश्चन इज आस्किंग अप्लाइड पॉइंट्स वही है जो आपने 3 लिखे हैं. 4th पॉइंट लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. अर्बन हीट आइलैंड नहीं पूछा है उन्होंने. दे आर आस्क यू अ सिंपल कंसेप्ट, व्हाई हिल स्टेशंस आर कूलर ड्यूरिंग द समर्स एज कंपेयर्ड. आंसर इज फर्स्ट 3 पॉइंट्स. ओनली थिंग इज इंट्रोडक्शन एंड कंक्लूजन विल डिफर. Introduction, hill stations which are common in India, that is in Himalayas and Western Ghats, are known for as important tourist destinations. एग्जाम्पल दे दो, 1-2 हिल स्टेशंस के नाम दे दो आपके एरिया के आसपास, और वॉट एवर यू नो. माउंट आबू से लेके यू कैन गिव रिगार्डिंग नैनीताल, शिमला, कुल्लू मनाली एक्सेट्रा. देन दिस कैन बी एक्सप्लेन विद द हेल्प ऑफ फॉलोइंग प्रोसेस. पॉइंट नंबर 1 जो हमने लिखा है, पॉइंट नंबर 2, पॉइंट नंबर 3. पॉइंट नंबर 4 मत लिखो. दे आर नॉट आस्किंग यू द कंपैरिजन बिटवीन शिमला का टेम्परेचर एंड दिल्ली का टेम्परेचर. शिमला में भी अर्बन हीट आइलैंड है. सो due to above reasons, we can say that the temperature in the hill stations is always lesser. और second question, जिसमें introduction and conclusion change हो जाएगा, will be डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन है, व्हाट इज द नॉर्मल लैप्स रेट? व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय नॉर्मल लैप्स रेट? आर यू गेटिंग? द बॉडी ऑफ ऑल द क्वेश्चंस आर सेम, only introduction and conclusion changes. Or does the answer changes? No, only introduction changes or conclusion changes that Himalayas are the highest mountains in the world. और specifically जो आ चुका है prelims में भी और and mains में भी this question. So we have just seen equatorial regions should not have winters. So forget ice caps and glaciers तो होने नहीं चाहिए because it has hot climate throughout the year. The question is asking you why Mount Kilimanjaro, which is located in the equatorial region, has ice caps and glaciers. Answer is Mount Kilimanjaro is the highest mountain of Africa, which is height is greater than 5,500 meters, and therefore चाहे उसको इक्वेटर के ऊपर क्या वॉल्केनो के ऊपर भी रखो, देयर विल बी आइस कैप इन सच एंड हाई माउंटेन्स. गेटिंग इट? हैव यू मार्क्ड माउंट किलिमंजारो इन द एटलस? इज इट लोकेटेड इन द इक्वेटोरियल रीजन्स और ऑन द इक्वेटर? Equator, does it pass through Mount Kilimanjaro? Open the map of Africa. Mount Kilimanjaro, you should know the location. Remember, it is not on the equator, it is near the equator, but that is equatorial region, 0 to 5 degree north, 0 to 5 degree south. But वहाँ पे एक Mount Kenya है, just ऊपर, which is the second highest mountain of Africa. मिला Mount Kenya? That is exactly on the equator, and even it is ice cap. Mount Kenya. And because you are doing that part, have a look of at the lake, Lake Victoria. Does equator pass through Lake Victoria? Yes. कौन सी 3 कंट्रीज? एक मेरे को लेक्चर दिखाया था किसी ने पॉल साइंस शाम के क्लास में. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू अटेंड द इवनिंग क्लास ऑफ पॉलिटिकल साइंस? Nobody? So somebody had drawn the map of Africa. That was your home assignment. So in that you are supposed to remember Lake Victoria because of numerous. Prime Minister has visited these countries this time. There is a Rwanda mein, there is a Kigali agreement also. So you remember Lake Victoria very properly. वैसे भी geographically it is very very important because ये East Africa जो है, this is an example of Rift Valley. We have done in geomorphology. Lake Victoria is not a part of Rift Valley. Secondly, it is a region of savanna region, savanna biome, Mediterranean biome, evergreen forest biome and savanna biomes. These are the 3 important biomes. Thirdly, Lake Victoria is the largest freshwater lake of Africa. and therefore you should know the countries that surround Lake Victoria. So remember this shortcut mnemonics, cut Victoria, Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. These are the three countries which actually touch Lake Victoria. हम बाद में एक ट्राइब करेंगे यहाँ की, which is known as Masais. So they are known for drinking the blood, fresh blood every morning, जैसे we drink fresh milk every morning. So fine with this. So write any one question out of this and you can show it to me. सिर्फ चारों मत लिखना, because only introduction conclusion changes, the body is same. And remember for prelims the location of Kilimanjaro, location of Victoria Lake, map based question में. They can give you any of the question, maybe Rwanda, does it touch the Victoria Lake? No. Is it for there in our cut? No. Cut is Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. क्या? Third factor that affects the temperature distribution is the distance from the sea. Now suppose there are two places, place A which is a coastal city and place B which is located in the interior. This can be Mumbai, this can be Delhi. So what will happen in the coastal city? What is the law of the wind? High pressure to low pressure. So during the daytime, the land will get heated at much faster rate as compared to the water. This is a general law. Land gets heated and cools at a faster rate as compared to the water. Water or any liquid will take time to get heated as well as cool. You know this law? You experience this law every day in the morning when you are drinking tea. Cup is cool, but अंदर का tea is still warmer. Fine. बर्तन गर्म है, जैसे ही रखोगे on the gas, but tea takes time to get warm. So, law of water and land is water takes time to get heated as well as cool. The land will get heated and cooled at a very, very faster rate. इसीलिए लेट समर सीजन में अभी साइक्लोन्स आ रहे हैं. वैसे विंटर्स हैव स्टार्टेड ऑन द लैंड बट समंदर आज भी गर्म है. द वाटर इज स्टिल वार्मर. इसीलिए साइक्लोन्स विल ऑलवेज कम इन द लेट समर सीजन बिकॉज साइक्लोन्स के लिए वन कंडीशन इज वार्मिंग, दूसरा इज इक्वेटर. आई विल डू दैट कंडीशन व्हाइल विल डू द साइक्लोन्स. So the city A during the daytime it will develop into a low pressure because of the heating, while the remaining water body surrounding will be comparatively high pressure, and therefore wind will flow from high pressure to low pressure, and you will call this as a sea breeze. But during the night time, land will radiate the heat very quickly to the surrounding region, while water will take time to radiate the heat. So during the night time the pressure conditions are exactly reversed. Land is comparatively at an high pressure while the water is relatively at low pressure, and therefore wind flows from land to the sea as land breeze. Now this is a breeze. That means the speed is very less, intensity is less, and therefore they does not affect the interiors of the continents. This will affect only the coastal regions, and इसलिए the coastal regions experience moderate type of climate. On other hand, in the city which is located in the very much interiors, example Delhi, summers में the land will get hot, next day it will get still hotter because there is no removal of heat, and the summers will be very very hot, but winters will be extremely cold. So what do we see? In Delhi, summer's temperature goes to 45 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius. Winter का temperature you will see in the coming months will go to 4 to 5 degrees Celsius, minimum temperature during the winters. वही चेन्नई, कोलकाता, मुंबई, summers are 35 degrees Celsius, winters are 30 degrees Celsius. There is no winter season as such. Plus they are located near the equator also. So why this type of climate is what is known as a moderate climate. Due to maritime influence. And this climate, hot summers, cold winters, is known as extreme type of climate. Due to continentality. Nowadays, this is what is present in the books. UPSC requires this exam requires you go one step further, which is not in the books, is in the regions which are near the coast, due to daily land and sea breeze, ये रोज का phenomena है, day and night का, there is removal of pollutants. But in the cities which are located in the interiors, there is no removal of pollutants. Why? Because the daily phenomena is absent. So these winds are daily. This is during the night, and this is during the daytime. That is land and sea breeze. We will call them as daily winds or diurnal winds. Such diurnal winds are absent. So we have to wait for western disturbances in Delhi to remove pollution. That is, we have to wait for jet stream in Delhi to remove pollution. जब jet stream आता है, like yesterday, so there is a rainfall. This jet stream comes from Caspian Sea, Mediterranean Sea region, which is to our west, और ये rainfall देता है, इसलिए western disturbance. Can I continue? Western jet streams. Rajasthan से loo will originate and flow towards north. यही extreme climate. Summers are very very hot, winters are extremely cold. ITCZ ऊपर होता है 21 जून को, लू का सीजन है मई. दो लेक्चर रुक जाना, ये सबसे बड़ा मिसकंसेप्शन है, ये हर क्लास में है ये मिसकंसेप्शन. जेट स्ट्रीम अगर नहीं है तो हीट वेव्स नहीं है इंडिया में. जेट स्ट्रीम अगर नहीं आती इंडिया में तो पोल्यूशन भी नहीं आता, बिकॉज पाकिस्तान से जो पोल्यूशन है वो इंडिया में जेट स्ट्रीम ले आती है. जेट स्ट्रीम रिमूव्स द पोल्यूशन ओनली इफ इट गिव्स रेनफॉल. बट अभी तक जब तक उसने रेनफॉल नहीं दिया तो पाकिस्तान का स्टबल बर्निंग सारा इंडिया में आ रहा था. एंड दिस जेट स्ट्रीम विल स्टार्ट इन नवंबर एंड इट विल बी टिल 21st of June. That is the misconception we have. The jet stream is present in India only during winters. It is dominating in winters but present even in summers. So continue writing. The regions which are located in the interiors, the regions which are located in the interiors, experience high annual and daily range of temperature. High annual and daily range of temperature. High annual and daily range of temperature due to continental effect. Due to continental effect. मैं dictate नहीं कर रहा हूँ कि this is nothing but extreme type of climate. We have already written there. But the coastal cities and the coastal regions, have moderating effect of land and sea breeze. Have moderating effect of land and sea breeze. And therefore, the annual as well as daily range of temperature, is low. Annual as well as daily range of temperature is low. What do you mean by annual range of temperature? Difference between highest temperature in a year and the lowest temperature in a year. Daily range, highest temperature in a day and lowest temperature in a day. Range matlab difference. So Delhi ka annual range is somewhere around, summers mein highest temperature can go up to 48 degrees Celsius. Winters mein it goes to lowest temperature, रात को 3-4 बजे. Lowest recorded temperature of a year can go to 4 degrees Celsius. So annual range of temperature is 44 degrees Celsius. मुंबई में highest range of temperature आजकल 37. Lowest temperature during the summer, winters 25. The annual range is 12 degrees Celsius. Getting this? Lot of westerlies are. Don't wait for some lectures. Next point is a current base point. Coastal climates also have relatively clean air. Coastal climates also have relatively clean air. Relatively clean air. Environment pollution से ये point है, relatively clean air because of daily land and sea breeze. Due to daily land and sea breeze. Clean air due to daily land and sea breeze. Daily land and sea breeze. यहाँ पे जो भी pollution है वो कहाँ पे जाने वाला है रात में? Sea, and then बारिश होके. But यहाँ का pollution it will accumulate here. The only difference is summers में ऊपर जाएगा, winters में वो नीचे आएगा. So this is why Delhi is one of the most polluted city of world. अभी तो most नहीं, it is the one of the नहीं, it is the most polluted. Last week में we are at the number 1. Out of all the polluted cities, Delhi is the most polluted city in the world. वैसे जो स्कैंडिनेवियन कंट्रीज है, जहाँ पे ह्यूमन राइट्स एक्सेट्रा आर वेरी हाई, न्यूजीलैंड भी है, वहाँ के जो एम्बेसडर्स है हु आर सर्विंग इन दिल्ली, दे आर गिवन 30% एक्स्ट्रा सैलरी लास्ट 3 years पहले ही. वाई? बिकॉज दे आर सर्विंग इन लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग कंडीशंस. सो generally that salary was reserved for those who were serving in Syria and Afghanistan. And जो सब सहारन अफ्रीका, बट 3 साल पहले दिल्ली में जो भी एम्बेसडर्स पोस्टेड है यूरोपियन नेशंस, उनको भी देता है दैट हाई सैलरी. सो प्रीलिम्स का एक फैक्ट यहाँ पे याद रखना, ओनली फॉर प्रीलिम्स, विच विल बी द कोल्डेस्ट पार्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, आर्कटिक ओशन या कॉन्टिनेंट वहाँ पे? That will be the continent. And as a result of this, you see Russia here. Russia is so far away from the sea. That is, the coldest part of the world is not poles. It is Verkhohans in Russia. So you can remember Verkhohans. V-E-R, K-H-O, Y-A-N-S-K. Verkhohans in Siberia, Russia. In Siberia, Russia. Records the coldest climate, has recorded the coldest temperature. Has recorded the coldest temperature. City है ये जहाँ पे recorded temperature is -67 degree Celsius. जो मैंने आपको बताया था, that is Verkhohans. This is the city. You will easily find the city in the eastern Russia. Atlas में you will find Verkhohans. Go home and see Verkhohans, mark it. उसके आसपास जब when I say any important city, उसके आसपास भी थोड़ा देखो. सब याद रखने की ज़रूरत नहीं. एटलस ये पॉइंट्स आ जाएंगे in the exam because they will give you a direct question. Verkhohans, where it is in the Siberia. So इसलिए world history में भी याद रखना. Germany started losing the war when they decided to attack Russia. उनको लगा Russia has the same type of climate because it is located on the same latitudes as Germany. So German soldiers went in Russia and they experienced cold that they had never seen before. Stalin knew this. He allowed Hitler to attack Russia because उसको पता था कि Russian cold को he knew कि Hitler का army is going to attack Russia. उसने अपने advisors को बोला let them experience Russian cold. So they knew कि वो कभी progress ही नहीं कर पाएंगे. They went ना खाना, सिर्फ cold climate. Why? Extremely continental, and Germany is moderate. And ultimately entire Germany lost the Second World War. Otherwise Germany जीत जाता Second World War. Fourth factor. Fourth factor is the difference between the nature of land and water. Difference between the nature of land and water. That is, the land gets heated and cooled. Land gets heated and cooled at much faster rate as compared to the water bodies. At much faster rate as compared to the water body. Land gets heated and cooled at a much faster rate as compared to the water bodies. इसका मतलब water takes time to get heated as well as to cool. Right? ये भी याद रखना. Water takes time to get heated and cooled. Land will get heated and cooled at a faster rate. Now can you tell me why? क्यों? So specific heat का concept पता है आपको? That is, the specific heat of water is greater than that of a land. What do you mean by specific heat? किसी भी चीज को the amount of heat you should supply to raise the temperature of that body by 1 degree Celsius. So specific heat of liquid is greater than that of land, that is water. वही अगेन मैं चाय का एग्जांपल लेता हूँ. पहले बर्तन गर्म होता है, आफ्टर सम टाइम जो चाय उबलने लगती है. वाई? बिकॉज द यू आर गिविंग मोर अमाउंट ऑफ हीट. बर्तन पूरा, और स्टूडेंट लाइफ में तो बर्तन कितने जल भी जाते हैं. सो वाई? बिकॉज स्पेसिफिक हीट वाला कंसेप्ट. एंड व्हाट इज द रीजन? अंडरस्टैंड हियर. फर्स्ट रीजन इज sunlight can not penetrate the land. So the land ka surface is only superficially heated, and because it is superficially heated, it will lose the heat very quickly. On other hand, sunlight can penetrate the water body up to the depth of 200 meters. And therefore, the same amount of sunlight which is falling on the land is falling on the water body. It takes time to get heated. Water will retain the heat. Land will lose the heat very quickly because larger layer of the water gets heated. This is one reason. That is transparency versus opaqueness. Second reason is land is immobile, water is mobile. कभी ये नहीं experience होगा that Rajendra Nagar has become very hot and therefore it has started flowing towards Patil Nagar. But the water, if it becomes very hot in the equatorial region, the water in the equatorial region starts flowing towards the poles, and we will call this as warm ocean current. While the polar water will become colder, and because colder water is denser, it will try to sink down and it will come to the regions of the equator, and we will call this as an cold ocean current. How ocean currents are in oceanography? So, can you see in this map itself, in this diagram itself, कल अगर question आता है, which ocean current is a surface current and which is a subsurface current? So cold currents are always subsurface and warm currents are mostly surface currents. इसीलिए we will come upwelling. Wherever there is upwelling of cold currents, they are rich fishing zones of the world. Upwelling means नीचे से ऊपर आना. Getting this? Why it is known as upwelling of a cold current? कभी ये नहीं सुनोगे upwelling of warm current, upwelling of cold current. And इससे एक applied question is, this is 2012 का question. In Kashmir region, during the winter season, the land is covered with snow, but many accidents occur when people are walking on the lakes due to, they had given you options. अब देखो ये कैसे इन्होंने frame किया. उन्होंने सिंपल वे में पूछना चाहिए why the land surface gets frozen and the water का only upper layer becomes frozen while the lower layer does not become frozen. But उसको dramatically change करके ये बताया कि लोग चलते हैं उस पे और फिर वो गिर जाते हैं. But mechanism is same. Specific heat ज़्यादा है, so land will get cooler at a very faster rate. But ये पूरा water body to get frozen, it has to lose large amount of heat which is trapped inside. Therefore, what we see in any cold climates, even in Arctic and Antarctic, Arctic Ocean, only the upper part is frozen. Lower part is not frozen. And Kashmir mein it is very common, Dal Lake and Wular Lake mein people fall down. They think that pura lake is frozen. Children will, you will see, photos will come in Hindu, people playing cricket on the Dal Lake. Why? Upper part is frozen. But niche ka part, if it is not frozen, due to pressure, it will collapse. And नीचे चला जाएगा. So answer is specific heat. ऐसे type के questions में. See, getting it? ये जो factors affecting temperature, इससे बहुत applied questions आएंगे. आपको लगेगा question आया mountaineering में से, question आया accidents में से. It is not. It is basically the questions which is checking your concepts regarding the factors affecting temperature. So Arctic Ocean is frozen only on the surface. Why? Because to freeze the entire Arctic Ocean, the temperatures have to become like Pleistocene ice age. Otherwise, water has the tendency to trap the heat. Getting this? So take down this. This is because point number 1. This is because point number 1. Water is transparent while land is opaque. Water is transparent while land is opaque. While the land is opaque. And therefore, the sun rays can penetrate up to 200 meters. The sun rays can penetrate up to 200 meters in the water bodies. Sun rays can penetrate up to 200 meters in the water bodies. Therefore, only superficial layer of land is heated and cooled. Therefore, only superficial layer of land is heated and cooled. Superficial layer of land is heated and cooled. Layer of land is heated and cooled. Land is heated only for some few centimeters. Example कि ऐसे कभी नहीं होगा कि सनरेज बहुत ज़्यादा है तो छत में से सनरेज हमारे रूम में आ रहे हैं. इट इज़ ओपेक, बट छत बहुत ज़्यादा गर्म होगी. लैंड विल टेक टाइम, वाटर विल टेक टाइम टू गेट हीटेड एंड कूल्ड बिकॉज 200 मीटर्स तक. याद रखना फॉर एनवायरमेंट इकोलॉजी एंड फॉर जनरल नॉलेज ऑल्सो, दिस जोन इज नोन एज फोटिक जोन, दिस जोन इज नोन एज अफोटिक जोन. फोटिक जोन जहाँ तक लाइट कैन पेनिट्रेट. So photic zone is up to the depth of 200 meters. So fishes will be, photosynthesis कहाँ पे होगा? Where will the plants in the oceans grow? In the photic zone. So fishes will be there, mostly यहाँ पे food is available, that is in the photic zone. And what is the part of ocean that is of less depth? Continental shelf. Therefore continental shelves are the best fishing regions of the world. उसका और एक है, उसमें से भी best कहाँ पे है? Where the cold and warm ocean currents will meet, we'll do that later on. But remember, photic zone is known for biodiversity. अब applied part और याद रखना. Land is heated and cooled superficially. Heated and cooled. Only superficial layer of the land is heated and cooled. बस यहाँ पे. See, understand here one thing. This is water. Water should be transparent so that sunlight can reach, and after reaching the plants, weeds which are there, they can do photosynthesis and produce oxygen. But what is happening to Ganga? What is happening to Yamuna? What is happening to the lakes? We are dumping sewage in it, plastic in it, and as a result of this, sunlight penetration is affected. As the sunlight penetration is affected, the plants can no longer make oxygen, and therefore there is eutrophication. There is a concept known as eutrophication. An entire lake becomes a dead zone. Color becomes black. Yamuna is black in color. In Delhi, Yamuna का color देखा है? It is black in color. So that is an example here. It is all based on the sunlight. Sunlight is the natural healer. याद रखना एक. Second point. Land is immobile while the water is mobile. Land is stationary or immobile while the water is mobile. And therefore, in the water bodies, there is redistribution of heat. In the water body, there is redistribution of heat in the form of ocean currents, in the form of ocean currents, waves, etc. In the form of ocean currents, waves, etc. And the third point, the specific heat of water, the specific heat of water is greater than that of land, is greater than that of land, is greater than that of land. See, this simple point, that is our fourth point, is responsible for one of the biggest climate in India, that is the monsoon type of climate. Land gets heated in the month of March, April, May. It is a dry summer season, लू चलती है, but water takes time to get heated. और जैसे ही water gets heated, June से monsoons come to India. Differential heating of land and water. Getting it? Similarly, land starts getting cooled in the month of October, November, जब sun starts going down, but water is remain comparatively warmer. And इसीलिए October, November is the season of tropical cyclones, because tropical cyclones originate on the warm water bodies. ये सब एग्जाम में लिखने का चांस मिला तो ज़रूर लिखना. That will show to the examiner how you know the interrelation of different topics. But anyways, you have to remember, because it will help you indirectly to solve many of the questions of climate. Right? So we'll continue with the smaller points tomorrow. Thank you.